Welcome back to part 2 of how to grill vegetables. I hope you enjoyed part 1. If you haven't caught it, the link is in the description. As always, do me a favor, click that subscribe button, make sure you leave a like and a comment, and let's check out part 2. Time with the lid open so you get that convection and flow through of heat. Once you close the lid, you technically go from grilling to baking. And we don't want to bake our food, we want to have that char, and the way you develop char is by having the lid open, and again, you're replacing the heat that's constantly radiating up and through the food. Once you close the lid, the heat becomes static, and it's just a box of hot air at that point. If you have a grill with a thermometer, keep in mind that it's not a very good indication of how hot your grill is. All it really does is indicate how hot the thermometer is. So I don't use that as a guide to how hot my thermometer is. And as always, I like to preheat my grill on low for 35-45 minutes if I have the time. Today I don't, so I'm going to crank her up on the high. I'm feeling good heat radiating through. We're almost ready to grill. All right, the grill is preheated, smoking hot. If you've been watching any of my grill series, you know that the lid needs to be open so that we get that flow through and convection when we're grilling. Okay, so I like to do the non-skin side down first, whatever possible. I got a little bit of salt and pepper and just a touch of oil on these. And then it's all about consistency. So whatever you do to the first one, you want to do to all the following ones. And yes, as I'm grilling, these are going to shrink slightly. And as they shrink, I can fit more on, and that's fine. That is absolutely fine. Awesome. If you're grilling a lot of vegetables, you can use the same bowl over and over again. There's no cross-contamination there. I gotta get them all on there. Oh yeah. Perfect. Okay. Great. Now, it's a great time to just step away and let the grill do the work. My resting rack, a half sheet pan with a grate. That is indeed the appropriate piece of kit here for letting food rest. Okay. And if you watched my grilled carrot video, you'll see there's some consistency here. It's really the same thing over and over again. I would say if you want to elevate your grilling, get consistent. It might feel like, oh, well, I did this identical technique with the beauty thing I cooked. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, keep it consistent. You're not flipping too much. You only should need to flip once. Just making sure they're not sticking. Vegetables tend to stick less than proteins, but they can stick. Okay. A few more minutes. Been about 5 minutes. And again, time is not a good indicator of doneness, but just giving you that as a reference. Yeah, fantastic. Lovely. Off we go. So this one needs a little bit more time, as does that one. But what I'm looking for here is where it's sweating. That's when I want to flip it over. That one's beautiful. So just like when we're cooking proteins, when you're grilling vegetables, once you flip something over, it's about 70% of the way cooked. This one looks great. Okay, this one looks great. If I were to chew it, bite into that right this moment, of course, it would be relatively raw, maybe undercooked on the inside, but we're gonna let that rest. Of course, so when it's just starting to sweat all the way through, that's when you pull it off. That one can use just another moment, that needs more time. The guys that are in the front, I'm gonna move to the back because my hot spots are in the back, which is true of most grills. You might find that your grill is, quote unquote, inconsistent on the heat. That's kind of by design. You want hot spots and cooler spots so that you can control your heat just by moving where your food is. If this grill, let's say, were the same temperature, edge to edge, front to back, and all around, that wouldn't be serving me very well because I wouldn't be able to take advantage of cool spots. If I wanted to slow this cooking down, I could just move it to a cooler spot. Still some heat in it without having it overcook. That's looking great. Okay. Got enough room now for my peppers. So peppers I like to do flesh side down. And I'm going to cut these later after they've been cooked, but I like to leave everything whole so that they don't fall through the grill grates. That looks great, that looks great. This is the big guy right there, that's going to take a while. That's one of the zucchinis that I cut in that three-way triangular shape as opposed to quartering it and then pulling the seeds out, and I don't think that works as well. This guy's looking good. A little bit more time there. And you'll also find that as you move your food around, you always want to move to a new spot where it's empty, because this will heat up more. So when you move a piece of vegetable or whatever you're grilling to that new spot, that new spot is hotter than the spot that you just previously came off of. Looking good. The last thing we're going to do here is some onions. Here's my onion wedges. Now, one key tip here about these onions is that you need to cook them longer than you think. Because if you undercook them and you bite into one, they will have that astringent raw onion flavor. So to get that nice sweet caramelized flavor, they're going to sit here on the grill for some time. But look at this cornucopia of colors. I love it. That's ready to flip. That's looking good. My grill is starting to cool off a little bit. That's because it's windy out here, so the wind, of course, wants to transfer that heat away. So if I was going to grill something else, what I would do is, after I'm done cooking this, close the lid, let it heat back up, and then reopen the lid. You can see the camera shaking, that's from the wind. All right, I am going to close the lid just for a moment. I know I advise against that, but the reason I'm doing that is I do need to get the temperature back up. But it will go pretty fast. Now the grill's on high. I try to grill on high as much as possible. Oh yeah, that camera's popping in the wind here. Okay. Peppers. Keep in mind the backside, they can burn pretty easily. The skin side, so it doesn't take too much there. Lid open. These onions are going to take a few minutes. Okay. Awesome. Should I have started my onions earlier? Yep. Did I forget about them? Almost. Okay, a few minutes there. Those are almost ready. I'm going to close this in just a moment. And guess what? I've got a bonus vegetable.